If you missed my videos on the first 3 seasons, there's a suggestion for you in the top right corner. Before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's dive into the 4th season. It all begins with Yujiro deciding to test Ali Jr.'s combat skills in action, so they start fighting right there in the hotel. Yujiro responded. He attacks, but Ali manages to evade the blows, so Yujiro uses a stance that Igor once used to defeat Muhammad. However, Ali Jr. interprets this stance as an acknowledgement of defeat, so he thanks him for backing down from the fight and just walks away as far as possible. Yujiro is stunned by this audacity, and immediately wants to get back at the guy for such insolence, but Ali has already managed to escape. The scene then shifts to China for a tournament called Raitai. 12 fighters were supposed to participate, but the Chinese Martial Arts Committee decided to add the previous tournament's winner, the 160-year-old Kaku Kai, along with 3 foreigners, Ali Jr., Yujiro, and Baki. The organizers chose to announce each upcoming match right before it started, so the fighters could focus solely on the battles. The first pair will be Yujiro and Ryukai, Retsu's mentor. They began fighting, but the difference in strength was so vast that Yujiro ripped off his face with just one hand. Retsu wanted to stand up for his master, but Ryu, despite such injuries, wanted to continue the fight, and this time Yujiro knocks him out completely. Then Retsu tells Baki that his next opponent will be Lee, who has the most poisonous hands in China. Baki is lucky that he gets to face him in his very first match. Hearing these words, Kozue considers Retsu a self-centered egotist. Because of this, she decides to brutally beat him. However, Baki saves him from a painful death by calming his girlfriend down, telling her that he will definitely win. Baki energetically started the fight and immediately kicked his opponent in the face, but during the kick, he touched the opponent's poisonous hand, causing the poison to enter his bloodstream. To remedy the situation, Baki sucked the poison out of his leg and then attacked his opponent again. Yujiro came to watch their fight, saying that Baki would defeat Lee very soon. However, his son began to take a barrage of blows, causing Lee's poisonous hand to shrink and lose its venom, but by that time, Baki was completely exhausted and couldn't continue the fight. It turned out that the poison Yanagi gave him in the 3rd season was entirely opposite to the poison Lee gave him now. Thanks to this and his incredible strength of spirit, Baki's body began to reject the poison, and he fully recovered from it. Baki regained his strength and easily defeated Lee, but his body hadn't fully recovered yet. Retsu helped him by first making him eat a lot of food, then giving him a 10-liter bucket of water with 4 kilograms of fructose added to it. Drinking all of that, the body started gaining muscle mass, and while he recovers, we'll watch a fight involving a former tournament champion who during the fight pulled off his opponent's shorts and ended the match with a single flick. Meanwhile, Baki has already regained his previous form, and with it came an incredible urge to fight, and the first thing he decided to do was to challenge his father. He started teasing Yujiro, but Yujiro quickly calmed him down by punching a wall. Now fighter Yo enters the arena along with Dorian, brought here by Oliver. However, since Dorian has lost his identity, he simply cannot fight, so he just absorbs all the blows and ultimately loses. When Oliver was leading Dorian off the arena, they were stopped by Yo, who wanted to fight him once more because, according to him, these foreigners have no right to bear the fighter status. Oliver stands up for Dorian and he and Yo step into the arena. Yo declares that his body is as tough as a diamond, and thanks to rigorous training, no hit can break through it, to which Oliver simply crushes his opponent, meaning he advances to the next stage. Then it was Retsu's turn to fight, but his opponent was so weak that he defeated him in this round with just one hold and a precise strike. Immediately after the match, Kaku approaches him, stating that the level of young fighters in China is severely lacking, and according to Kaku, the martial arts committee is to blame for this, so as punishment, he cuts off their wrists. Kaku did not want to see foreigners in this tournament, so he forms his own Chinese team, which includes Hassan and his friend, and then challenges the remaining foreigners. This infuriated Yujiro against the Chinese, so he asks Baki and the others to unite and join his team. Oliver and Ron are the first to step out. Ron has fought in underground matches for crime groups for 30 years and has never lost a single fight. Oliver started attacking, but Ron effortlessly deflected all his blows with his hands in his pockets, after which he managed to injure Oliver. Baki and his father were watching this. Yujiro explained the secret of Ron's fighting style. It turns out when his hands are in his pockets, they're already in a fighting stance, meaning it's pointless to compete with him in strike speed. Oliver realized this and took the same stance. He intentionally allowed him to land hits to understand his moves, then Oliver grabbed his head and headbutted him in the face. When Ron counterattacked, it turned out that Oliver's body was much tougher, and he ended up breaking his own hands, after which Oliver finished the fight with another blow to the face. The Chinese, who promised a clear victory for each of their fighters, have already suffered their first defeat. After this, Kaku wanted to fight the remaining battle himself, but his son Shunsei insisted that each fighter should have an opponent, so now he will be facing Baki. Before the fight, his dad told him that Baki is incredibly strong and is the winner of underground fights in Tokyo. But despite all the warnings, Shunsei recklessly rushed into the attack, to which Baki ended the fight in 2 seconds with a couple of punches, earning his father's respect. Next up to fight are Retsu and a representative from the foreigners named Dyaku. He trains Japanese youth, and in this tournament, he is looking for those who can help him develop martial arts in Japan. In the arena, he offered Retsu a handshake, but it was a trick, and he tried to hit him. However, Retsu gripped his hand so tightly that he couldn't do anything. After that, he extended his hand again and suggested forming a team. During this proposal, he once again attempted to strike, but Retsu proved stronger once more. Dyaku extends his hand once more, and this time Retsu attacks first, but it was a trick, and Dyaku catches him in a submission hold and breaks his arm. For this, the Chinese spectators wanted to beat him, but they were stopped by Retsu, who said he would kill anyone who didn't leave the arena. It turned out that Dyaku broke his hand just to even the odds, and with his victory, forced him to go to Japan to train youths. They started fighting again, but despite his broken arm, Retsu still proved to be stronger. Dyaku respected him for that, and said that his arm wasn't actually broken, and only he could help fix it. Even though it seemed like another trick, Retsu extended his arm to him, after which Dyaku healed him. Even though Dyaku fought dirty, he did so because he greatly respected Retsu and really wanted to take such a genius with him. Retsu in turn acknowledged Dyaku's strength because even though Retsu defeated him, he had to use techniques that masters of his level usually don't apply, and after his victory, Retsu helped Dyaku leave the ring. Then, Han, who is actually Lee's older brother, will face off against Junior Ali. During their fight, Han stated that Ali has no chance because he's a boxer and they don't use their legs in combat. That's why Ali supposedly can't reach him because the range of a kick is much greater. However, according to Baki, that's not true because although it's subtle, boxers use their legs to strike the ground, and Ali proved this by knocking out Han with 2 punches, which means the Chinese have already lost. Since 3 of their fighters were defeated, the audience started to cry. However, then something happened. He said that even though those fighters lost, China should be proud to have a great master like Kaku. And if Yujiro can't defeat him, then those 3 victories mean nothing. Before starting the fight, Yujiro decides to take Kaku for a ride in a wheelchair to ask him what he sacrificed to achieve such a victory. According to Kaku, he was once incredibly strong and easily defeated his opponents, but one day he encountered an old master who beat him effortlessly, making him realize that martial arts are much stronger than muscles. He began to train long and hard, and by his old age, he achieved the perfect body for a martial arts master. They began to fight, and even though Yujiro was hitting with full force, Kaku managed to dodge. The thing is, he was using the Shaori technique, which relaxes the entire body of the fighter to absorb the opponent's blows. However, Yujiro had already figured out how it worked, so before the next strike, he plucked a hair from the master, forcing him to tense up involuntarily and take a powerful hit. This compelled Kaku to change his fighting style and go on the offensive. He appeared to be a frail old man, yet Yujiro did not want to take his hit, which is why he constantly dodged, eventually backing himself into a wall. It turned out he wasn't doing this for no reason. The thing is, in the technique of Shaori, it doesn't matter what kind of muscles you have. The strength of the strike depends on the impulse, which is influenced by the fighter's ability to relax their muscles. He studied this technique for decades, but Yujiro was able to copy it instantly, demonstrating his superiority. However, according to him, he doesn't intend to use it because he has his own style, where the power of a strike depends on the fighter's strength. He demonstrates this by breaking the concrete they stood on. He began delivering blows that Kaku could no longer dodge. Baki watched this fight and for some reason became insanely happy when Yujiro started fighting seriously. Yujiro then decides to use his demons back. He struck Kaku and was about to finish him off, but stopped at the last moment because the master died of old age. Since he didn't manage to defeat his opponent, there were no winners or losers in the match. As it turned out, Kaku faked his death to avoid losing. He shocked everyone with this revelation and explained the situation. Yujiro is the strongest person on earth, so leaving a match without losing is a significant achievement. That's why Kaku made his heart stop to halt his opponent. If the final blow had been dealt, Kaku would have truly died. After the tournament ended, Yujiro steps into the arena, where Kaku meets him and tells him that as the winner of the previous tournament, he is passing the champion title to him. After that, Baki and the others head home, and already in Japan, during his run, Baki reaches the tree where he would often meditate and train. There, he encounters Ali, who proposes a fight, but Baki declines, saying that only one person can make him want to fight. However, Ali is very eager to spar with him and promises to make it happen. Everything to make Baki want to fight him. For this, he invited Baki's girlfriend on a date, where he proposed to her. Kazuya agreed to go to a cafe with him, but she wasn't ready to be his wife yet, so Ali decided to pursue her, inviting her on dates repeatedly. Then he wanted to defeat fighters whom Baki respects. The first time. The first of these was Guki, whom Ali knocked out with a single quick punch. After him, his opponent was Doppo. The karate master used his perfect defense, but Ali managed to evade it and knock out Doppo just the same. Kozue tells Baki that Ali tried to pursue her and asks what he plans to do about it. Baki replies that his task is to do everything possible to be with Kozue, but ultimately the choice is hers to make. After this, Ali wanted to fight Jack, but Baki's older brother turned out to be stronger and kept knocking Ali to the ground. Even though Ali kept getting up and continuing the fight, Jack was not his match, resulting in Ali showing up to his next date with Kozue completely beaten up. Goki interrupted their conversation, eager to get his rematch with Ali. They faced off, and Goki said the last fight wasn't real, so this time he would fight seriously. Ali thought he would defeat Goki just like before, but the master grabbed his finger and slammed him into a tree repeatedly, proving that Goki secured his rematch. He arrived at the date in an even more terrible state, and Kozue called him an idiot for not fighting to the death. Their date gets interrupted again, this time by Doppo, who also wanted to settle scores with Ali. Before their fight, Ali said that he wouldn't show mercy to the old man, and would cripple his leg so badly that he'd beg for mercy. However, his words became meaningless when he broke his hand against Doppo's head. He reminded him of his own words, and thus showed no mercy while breaking Ali's arms. Eventually, he pushed him to the point where Ali simply couldn't continue the fight, thus taking his revenge. However, Ali refused to acknowledge his defeat. While he was lying in his room, the attendant came to him and said that someone was waiting to meet him. It turned out that this person was his father, Muhammad, who has a multitude of illnesses, trained for 5 years to fight his son, because Ali was the one who dealt him his first knockout. However, in such a condition, Ali wasn't planning to fight, so Muhammad started taunting him, after which Ali agreed to the match but understandably lost quickly. It turns out Muhammad knew that Ali had lost 4 matches in a row, so he wanted to teach him a lesson, adding that Ali had already done everything he could and suggested he give up and stop torturing himself. However, Ali said that those defeats had hardened him, as his opponents were elderly people who, despite their age, constantly improved their skills, so Ali can no longer afford to lose and give up his position. As it turned out, Gava is a big fan of Muhammad, so he keeps him informed about all the news in the world of underground fights. He came to them and said that Baki accepted the challenge and agreed to fight Ali, so Ali Jr. must do everything to defeat him. While Ali was training in a cast and preparing for the fight, his father approached him and said that Baki would fight him only under one condition. Ali had to enter the ring in his perfect form. After hearing this, Ali's body began recovering at an incredible speed, and eventually, he fully healed from his injuries. The fathers of the fighters met to discuss the upcoming fight. Muhammad asked what his son was worth, to which Yujiro replied that while Baki is not perfect right now, he is still one of the strongest in the world. Ali met with Kozue and promised her that he would definitely defeat Baki and win her heart. Additionally, experienced fighters made their predictions about the outcome of the match, and they all unanimously stated that Ali Jr.'s style would be completed during the fight with Baki, that's why he must win. The day of the match arrived, and Ali promised himself that he would leave the ring on his own feet. However, instead of Baki, Yujiro appeared in the arena. He said that Baki would soon attack his own father, and even though he is only 18 years old, he is capable of a lot. At that moment, Baki himself arrived, and Yujiro told them to fight to the death. The fight began, but despite all the hype and predictions prior to their battle, Baki knocks out his opponent with just one hit. Ali wakes up and intends to continue the fight, but while he was saying he would kill him, Baki takes a swing at his groin to test his resilience, then finishes with a kick and starts to choke him. However, he is stopped by Muhammad with a strike. Even though, according to him, if he hadn't intervened, Baki would surely have killed his opponent. Even though Muhammad seriously broke the fight rules, Baki wasn't angry with him because he was genuinely ready to strangle Ali. And after the victory, Baki challenges Yujiro to a fight to put an end to his story. Yujiro acknowledges his son and considers him a worthy opponent, so now Baki is ready to become his prey, and devouring him will be the reward. After the fight, Ali cried and was in great pain, and Kozue came to support him during this difficult time. Then, all of Baki's friends were informed that he would soon face his father, so they came to see how he was preparing for the fight. They acknowledged that Baki is no longer an inexperienced youth, now he is one of the strongest, significantly different from other fighters. Even Baki's training was on a completely different level, and everyone who watched him could see a visualized figure of his father. Meanwhile, Yujiro was preparing for the fight by battling wild animals. As for how their match will end, we'll find out in the 5th season, with the video coming out sometime tomorrow. Don't forget to share your thoughts about this anime in the comments. We'll see you in the next video.